Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to Through the Gears as we get you set with the best bets for the Monster Mile at Dover Speedway, our only trip to the concrete giant, the 1 mile oval out in Delaware. We're coming off back to back wins with SVG, doing real solid there with his road course expertise. But we go back to some oval racing, traditional NASCAR racing. Love to see it. Been to Dover before. It's going to be a fun one with Trenton Worsham and Anthony Damcott, both there for frontstretch.com. But in the meantime, there's some guys that we want to look at and see if we can attach ourselves to going into a great weekend and going 3 for 3 on our winners. Did not profit, unfortunately, because again, SVG was not a big time bet to hit there at plus 160. If you did hit them, our props did not really work at Sonoma, but we are looking to bounce back here at Dover, keep our win streak alive with calling out race winners, and it's going to be a good one going into Dover. So let's get it going as we go through the gears. Now, first off, I'm going to call out Denny Hamlin, the favorite, at 5-1. He's the defending winner here at Dover and has done super well and a fantastic job at this track before. I guess we call him the Concrete King in the Cup Series as of right now because he's just been dominant at those types of tracks. You look at Bristol where he's won really solidly at as well. His main competition to his defense of the race win here at the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 will be Kyle Larson at the 5.5-1 number. And it's tough to bet Kyle Larson right now because he has been in a massive slump. But the last win on a concrete track with his domination at Dover makes him a worthy candidate to consider him as well this weekend at that number. Kyle Larson, he's going to be a great favorite here at Dover Speedway as well. As we look at the driver averages, Kyle Larson, and remember his battle between him and Hamlin at the end of that race. It's going to be tough to pass here at Dover. So you really want to look at someone who's either getting through the field well, and you can make a pass here at Dover if you have a great race car. But it's going to be tough to pass the guy who's the fastest, which Denny Hamlin tends to be. Kyle Larson, if he's in the right spot, tends to be as well. Other drivers such as Ross Chastain, who has the best active average finish here at the track at 5.7. Chase Elliott joins him at that number as well. Alex Bowman in 2 tries here has done well at a 6.5 as well. Then you have Denny Hamlin there as the defending winner. Kyle Larson, his average isn't gonna be great in the next gen era because he also wrecked, if you remember his feud with Ross Chastain in 2023. That tanked his driver average, but he was running up front in that one. He has an average finish at 13.3 at this track. So if you really kind of throw that result in the garbage, you can really look at Kyle Larson as an actual factor to win this race. Third on the list, and I'm surprised he's up here, really, is Ryan Blaney at the plus 750 number. We're coming off road courses, and Blaney's numbers on road courses are actually absolutely abysmal. We didn't have any action with him this year with him on road courses. I know he has the Charlotte Roval win, but we can finally stop talking about road courses for a good while until we go back to Watkins Glen. Meanwhile, his numbers, Ryan Blaney has an average finish of 12. Guys ahead of him, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, have way better value on the board than a Ryan Blaney really would. Blaney has 1 top 5 here at Dover. Meanwhile, you look all the way to Kyle Busch at 30-1, not Chase Briscoe, but Chris Buescher at plus 2,600, and Ty Gibbs as well at the plus 2,800 number. Those are guys I'd rather put some value on versus a Ryan Blaney here at Dover versus, I mean, he had the win. The last time we really had him on our card was at Pocono when he did win there, and he had a great car there as well. Team Penske, on the other hand, hasn't really had the pace to win. I'm not going to really look at him until we start going back to like Iowa. He's the defending winner there. So it's a no-brainer to look at Ryan Blaney winning there, along with maybe a William Byron there. speaking of William Byron, he's next on that list at plus 8.5. I am officially off the William Byron train right now. I mean, he hasn't won at Dover yet, and he is just an abysmal driver to try to bet on in the summer. He's his numbers in the summer aren't that great. I mean, this isn't 2023 either. He's only has one win in the Daytona 500. I've been waiting for that win to come, and again, this is not a track I'm really forecasting him to win. Again, Iowa's really what I'm looking at, depending on his number. He was fast there, but Kyle Larson was more dominant than his counterpart at Hendrick Motorsports at that race before getting involved with crashes there at Iowa. But that's going to be farther down the road, obviously. Right now at Dover, I mean, what you look at his average finish right now, William Byron is at a 22nd all time, 19.7. He has a top 5 here, but it's his only good result here at Dover. I'm not really sold on William Byron whatsoever going into this race. Instead, again, Chase Elliott, who's tied with the best average finisher, Ross Chastain, who also holds the best average finish here as well, and has raced with the likes of Martin Truex Jr., who is dominant at Dover, had his first career win way back when in 2007 here, and has won in the next gen era before. I mean, again, Truex isn't going to be in this race, but that number 19 and James Small is going to be, and what you saw at Sonoma could absolutely translate for that team, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I want to focus on Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain here at the 12-1, 14-1 numbers here. Those are just absolutely great numbers, value numbers to go with for those guys. Look at their prop numbers too if you want to as well. But Chase Elliott with the win at Atlanta, I think there's momentum there with that team. They had a good result at Sonoma as well. And now they're going back to a bread and butter track that they have also won at before, both in the next gen era and Gen 6 era. I think Chase Elliott is absolutely someone to watch going into Dover this weekend. And 12-1 is a mighty number to go with the number 19. And same with Ross Chastain. I mean, also momentum in the Trackhouse camp with SVG winning the last couple of races. They didn't have a great result at Sonoma, unfortunately, with the 20. I think he got 24th when I looked up that result. But going back to ovals in a place where he's been pretty consistent at, for the most part, 2 top 5s, always finished in the top 20 at this track. It just depends on how they roll out and if they have speed for this race. I mean, he finished 12th here last season after starting 22nd. It's going to be a matter of if the one team can get qualifying nailed down, and that's been their Achilles heel this year. It's really between, I would even have a 4B between Ross, and I'll talk about now Chase Briscoe at 20-1. Listen, he was second all day at Sonoma. They have the momentum of that Pocono win to go after race wins now. At 20-1 and Joe Gibbs Racing, 20-1 for Chase Briscoe is just a better number in general. Between him and Ross Chastain, I think you could go either way between Chastain and Chase Briscoe right now for a card bet right now. Him, and then you have Alex Bowman, who's won here in 2021. I got to be at that race back then before I was covering for Front Stretch, but Bowman is no one to not look at in this race. I mean, he only has the 2 races here, but he has the 3rd best average finish at this track amongst active drivers at the 6.5 number and a top 5 previously in this race. His last result here was an 8th, and he led laps, only 2 laps in 2022. So for the win, it's going to be tough to bet him, but he's done it before, back when Hendrick Motorsports got the 1, 2, 3, 4 finish in the Gen 6 era. And I think there's a little bit that can be held by that with Alex Bowman at the 22-1 number. I think it's very fair. And to move on from that, there's Chris Buescher at 26-1. Same with Joey Logano. Ty Gibbs at 28-1. He's been very solid at the concrete tracks as well. So when you can maybe keep a close eye on with practice and qualifying. But then you look at that 30-1 number. Yeah, you have Carson Hocevar there, and Carson Hocevar could definitely be a contender at this type of racetrack. It's really hit or miss for the 77 team at this point, and you really have to call your shot when you call your shot. Like, he was great at Nashville, and that's a concrete track. And you could probably translate a little bit of that for Carson Hocevar. But a guy I'm really looking at is Kyle Busch at the 30-1 number. He's one, and I'm not even looking at him for the race win. I'm going to spoil that when we get to the props. But the 30-1 number for Kyle Busch at a track he's been pretty solid at before and has gotten poles at before and started up at the best spot in the field the last 2 years in a row. I think Kyle Busch is someone you can maybe keep an eye on for a top 5, possibly a top 10 for his value there. 30-1 is kind of a cheeky number as well to put maybe a half unit on for the race win if things go right for that team. And he's in contention for the playoffs as well by points. So as long as there's not a crazy, wacky winner in this one, I think Kyle Busch absolutely at the 30-1 number should be considered. Other guys, I mean, Keselowski's honorable at 35-1. It's just a matter of that if that team can put a full weekend together. Josh Berry at the 55-1 number. Short track ace. I don't really Dover runs more like an intermediate-ish. It's just very fast-paced. I don't think Berry's going to have what it takes in this one. Austin Cindric, Ryan Preece at 80-1. Same with Eric Jones. Ryan Preece is a guy I'm keeping an eye on too because he's just been consistent wherever we go. His numbers, like he had a fire in last year's race that knocked him out. Now having more reliable equipment with RFK, I think would help him, but really his teammate, I mean, Chris Buescher does have an average finish within the top 10 or just outside the top 10 rather, but it's going to be tough for that team to really show their strength. I think this is not a track that RFK has the strength to compete for wins, but maybe fringe top 10 for Ryan Preece's number has been kind of consistent. The books have kind of consistently put him back at the 3-1, 2.5-1 number to just top 10. And I don't think that's enough value for me to go with right now. Bubba Wallace at 65-1 number off DraftKings. It's that team 23-11 now running as open teams. I think that's going to take his and Riley Herbst's stock and potentially Tyler Reddick, who we didn't even mention at the 20-1 number. Also Christopher Bell mentioned him at 12-1 as well, but they haven't shown race winning pace yet so far throughout the summer and have been bested by the likes of like a Denny Hamlin or not quite a Kyle Larson, but Ross Chastain, the Coke 600, Chase Elliott at Atlanta, and Chase Briscoe at Pocono. So there's other guys you could possibly go with in this one that'll make much more sense in this race. To round it out, AJ Allmendinger's at the 100-1 number. I think Ricky Stenhouse might be a great top 10 prop, but he's at 150-1. Michael McDowell, 200-1. Your defending winner from Sonoma is Shane Van Gisbergen, tanking all the way down to a 500-1 number. Not going to bet him there. But Noah Gragson's the one I kind of want to look at, and I want to look at him more for the props and possibly his teammate Zane Smith as well. 200-1 to outright win. He finished 6th here after starting 5th with Stewart-Haas Racing. He has won here in the Truck Series race. That's somebody I might keep an eye on for his top 10 prop for sure. I think Noah Gragson could potentially get it done. It's been a very abysmal year. He only has the one top 10 this year that came at COTA, and that team really needs to pick me up as well. Again, they're also uncharted as well now with the whole court case that's going awry so far for those guys. So I'd still keep an eye out for the number 4 team and see if they have a complete weekend and qualify well. Because if they're up there, it's hard to pass, and I think Noah Gragson can hold his own up at the front of the field as he did last season. So I'm going to go into the full card here for Dover. First off, I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin at the 5-1 number. Denny has just been great at this track in previous attempts. At the 5-1, you don't have to deal with Martin Truex Jr. kind of cheekily being there and fighting for the win. 5-1, 3 units for Denny Hamlin makes sense. His best bet is off of DraftKings and FanDuel right now if you want to take those odds. Kyle Larson, conversely, also at the 5.5-1 number. It's very borderline, and it's just a matter of Bristol. I can't get that out of my mind with how great he was there, and then his battle between Hamlin last season. I think it's tough not to call Kyle Larson here. And I called him last week at Sonoma, and Sonoma really didn't go his way. He was a similar bet at 6 to 1. 5.5, I think, is still plenty of value. You're still taking the second best odd at that number, and I think that's fine. It's not going to get any better if he does great in qualifying. If he doesn't, it's going to get better, but at that point, I think his bet is kind of made there. So, but before we go into the weekend, I think Larson 5.5 is completely logical to go with right now, and I would take him all day at that number. Conversely, with his teammate of Chase Elliott at the 12 to 1 number, former winner here in the next gen, has multiple wins at this track, is a stronger track for Chase Elliott and that crew. 12 to 1 is honestly a great value. I thought he was going to be 9 to 1, 10 to 1 at this kind of track, and getting him at the 12 to 1 number, well, while William Byron and Ryan Blaney are sitting 7.5, 8.5, I think is kind of crazy. So 12 to 1, I think, is great for Chase Elliott here. I will take that all day. And again, I'm going to reiterate for my fourth one, I am kind of on the fence between Ross Chastain or a Chase Briscoe. Briscoe has better value. Briscoe also has probably the Martin Truex's notes from when James Small was with him, and that translated really well at Sonoma. And I think that can do the same thing at Dover for those guys. So it's tough. I'm going to give the flip right now to Chase Briscoe for that reason alone. Chastain hasn't won here. He's ran well. He's actually fought with that 19 team before when it was Truex. If you remember the fishing comment from Martin Truex Jr. or something like that from 2023. Chastain was nobody's friend in that year in that race, but it's just a matter of the fact that that team has also finished 12th last season. I think that's just what pushes me away a little bit. But again, momentum is in that garage after 2 wins. I think Chastain really wants to make a statement, get this win here at Dover, and keep kind of in pace with teammate Shane Van Gisbergen, who has the road course ace prowess here and has taken over the spotlight with winning in the Red Bull car and winning 3 road course races in 1 year in a row, really. So Chastain 14 to 1 is very respectable too. I'd put 2 units on either of those bets as well. Chastain's best bet is on FanDuel, and also Chase Briscoe's best bet 20 to 1 via BetMGM. Just for y'all's information there going into the weekend. Going into prop bets, I mean, I have a couple prop bets that I really like to see here. I'm going to start it off, and I want to look it up as we're talking because Noah Gragson is someone I'm looking at for like a super long shot. He's 10 to 1 right now before FanDuel opens up their top 10 props. His best prop is via Caesars Sportsbooks. 10 to 1 is a great number if you want to get max value, but I wouldn't put anything over a unit on that because you just can't trust that team too much. But I think it's the best long shot for a top 10 if you want max value out of a prop. Or you can go with a prop that I rarely do on this show, but I think you could get away with it here with Kyle Busch getting the pole and starting up front for the 3rd consecutive year here. He is only a 14 to 1 to win this pole. And I think just they have a good qualifying setup. Now, Chase Briscoe is the favorite to win pole because that team has unlocked some speed over the last couple of weeks. And I mean, I think he's like 3 to 1 via, and this is off Bet Rivers. That's where I find the pole prop right now. But it's going to be kind of close between these guys because right now with that prop right now, it's looking like, yeah, Chase Briscoe is actually a 4 to 1 tied with Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin at 5 to 1. And you have to show it show more before you get to that 14-1 number for Kyle Busch to win the pole. I think that's an excellent number for the guy who's the defending pole guy going into this weekend. So 14-1, Busch winning the pole off Bet Rivers, I'd give a solid 1 unit on as well. Then a very logical one. I mean, it's between Toyota and Chevrolet in this one, I think, and I'd be subscribed to believe that Toyota's going to win this one at plus 180, and I'd put 3 units on that. And plus 180 is a pretty solid prop for a manufacturer prop for second best, because normally you have maybe even, and then the Ford or the odd man out, like a Toyota sometimes will go 3-1 or 2.5-1. Plus 180 is a good prop for that, and Toyota is the defending manufacturer winner at this track. So, I mean, it's just going to be tied probably to Denny Hamlin or maybe a Chase Briscoe that does well. That's what I would put my money on with that. Then Denny Hamlin top 3. I mean, we're already have him as the king of this place, or the king of really concrete racing in NASCAR. Let's just go ahead and run with him for a top 3 prop as well at plus 145. He is the lowest top 3 prop, but it's still in the plus money. Put 2 units on that. I think that's safe. Putting a lot of money on Denny Hamlin this week to do well, and I think it makes complete sense to do anyway. And then Chase Briscoe, once again, I'm confident in him getting a top 5 in this one with that setup. He's at 3-1 right now for a top 5, which is kind of crazy, honestly, for him to be that undervalued for the top 5 number. Again, 3-1 is going to be nice to see him hit that one. And Chase Briscoe, honestly, I think is going to be a-okay getting another top 5 with the setup that is provided by crew chief James Small and that team. So looking into the Xfinity race coming up as well. Again, there's a couple guys that look pretty cool to bet on for this one. Justin Allgaier comes in as the favorite at plus 260. Ross Chastain is going to race in this one as well at 3.5-1. Eric Almirola is making an appearance at 4-1. Kyle Zilich might be my race win pick at 8-1, just because that team's kind of been on a roll, and he's going to be great. His top 3 numbers plus 180. I like that as well. But if you really look down, remember who else is running in this race, and that is Ryan Truex, back-to-back defending winner here. Yes, with Joe Gibbs Racing equipment, but if he's won here the last couple of years, I know he's in a Sam Hunt car, but it's still Toyota ran. His top 3 number is 7-1, which is comparable to Connor Zilich getting the win. I think Ryan Truex could get that, maybe a top 5. His top 5 number right now is plus 350. I think you could go top 3, top 5 bet with that, and if he cashes in on both, you're up plenty. Ryan Truex here at Dover, I think, should not be that far underestimated with this team. And I mean, Corey Heim previously at Iowa has had a top 5, top 3 finish, even I think at that track. So Ryan Truex going in to this weekend in the number 24 Toyota should be looked at seriously to get a great finish this weekend with the top 3 and top 5. And finally, I'm going to look at the final 4 going into this weekend, and boy howdy, we got him. Ty Dillon is in the freaking show, going up against John Hunter Nemechek this weekend. It's pretty even. He's minus 105 to advance. I think I'd take it just for fun now. Like that'll be the underdog story coming out of that side. And then you have the Toyotas of Ty Gibbs, that is, and Tyler Reddick. A lot of ties in this bracket right now. And of course, Tyler Reddick, we still have on to win the in-season tournament at the 7-1 number that we got at Atlanta. So great call there. Ty Gibbs is really the last big hurdle. I don't see Ty Dillon going all the way, but if he does, that'll be just actually insane if that happens. So if anyone got on Ty Dillon when he was, I think, 25-1 before Sonoma, and then I think John Hunter Nemechek was 10-1, you're looking pretty nice going into the final 4 of this. Because I was contemplating myself when I went to Iowa for for coverage of the IndyCar series there. Betting state, I contemplated probably doing like a cover all of all the underdogs and left in the in-season tournament just to put bets on. But again, our bet is still active here for Tyler Reddick to win. If you listened the Atlanta episode, my pick is still in to win this. Maybe it was like 2-1. He's probably Tyler Reddick's the favorite now. I think probably would be at break even with the Ty Gibbs. It's between those two right now. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top because I think Ty Gibbs has better numbers overall. Yes, he does than Tyler Reddick. Ty Gibbs' average is 11.5 with a top 10 previously, and Tyler Reddick 17th best all time with the average finish of 16th, but he also has a top 10 here at Dover. It's going to be close between those two, and I think logically they should win. But again, this is kind of this bracket system. It's going to be a crazy finish, I think. And if you have John Hunter Nemechek or a Ty Dillon winning this is going to be huge. This will be, I don't know if someone should reconsider this thing, but it'll be fun to watch. That is for sure. That'll do it for this episode of Through the Gears, a solo episode, unfortunately, but we should have more people on next week for the show. Tino should be joining us back next week for the the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Can't wait to have him there. Also, be sure to check out more of the Front Stretch Podcast Network. That includes Bringing the Heat with Trey Lyle that came out a couple days ago on Wednesday. And he had Marty Smith, the pit reporter for multiple guys now with TNT, with Amazon Prime, NBC as well. Marty does great work out on the track week by week there. Can't wait to listen to that episode as I'm recording this on a Wednesday. Trey Lyle also joined the guys at Happy Hour with Brian Nolan, Michael Massey, and Dalton Hopkins, as well as old stomping grounds there on the show. So all four of them talked everything about Sonoma. Is it the most dull racetrack or road course rather on schedule? I kind of agree with that one, but you can listen to their takes on that as well as SVG just being SVG, man. Look, we're two wins deep now with him there, but at plus 200 and plus 160, the parlay of that's probably as much as Denny Hamlin's outright win for this weekend. So not too hard to call there, and I'm not gonna underestimate SVG anymore going forward with that. But again, congratulations to those guys. Congratulations to Red Bull getting a win. It's probably going to be on my whole diecast collections coming up soon when it comes out. But again, what a race there at Sonoma for those guys. Dominant fashion for sure. But I'm excited to go into Dover. Thank you all again for coming on and watching Through the Gears. Be sure to leave a like and a comment, and I can get you the feedback for this weekend. And I'm excited to make some monster money in the Monster Mile of Dover.